And then the second thing is, in the meantime, you definitely need to make sure that while you have native Teams device in place, you need to have that flexibility, to be compatible with other third-party platforms as well.
Yep.
Which is why I just mentioned exactly what Microsoft is doing. They release like Zoom Gateway, Cisco Gateway, to make sure that you can have the same joint experience, for Zoom meeting batteries.
So you kind of get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, so it's like one cable that you can do three things.
So no matter what, you're going to get that BYOD functionality, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
But we see a massive uptake in the Teams as a kind of as a holistic business approach.
So how they can have a more, how they can have a better life-work balance when they do are in hybrid working, right? How we can make sure users are engaged.
Yep.
That's really important, because if you are doing hybrid working, the most important thing is you need to be part of the business. You need to make sure you contribute to the business, right? So if you want to make sure that your employees are engaged while they work remotely, you need to have the right platform in place.
How are you?
Yeah, very good. How are you?
Yeah, very good, thank you. So, welcome to the Spenno Circuit podcast.
Thank you.
At Spore Group, we're a platinum partner of Yealink. So, Yealink have been very kind to release Ben to us for today to have a little chat with us around what Yealink are doing, the future of AV, I guess, within Yealink.
Yep.
And just a general discussion around some of the things that are going to be going on, and some really interesting stuff around life cycle of kit, which I think is a really interesting topic.
Thank you, Chris. Much appreciated for your rough introduction and the brief summary about what we're going to talk about. Basically, for today, I would like to share a survey we've done recently in the first half years, to show how's the, Teams room ecosystem looks like. Meeting room ecosystem looks like.
Yep.
And there's 4 key points I want to raise today. Sort of one is a platform landscape. So I'll have a rough summary on what type of platform is the most popular platform right now in the UK. And then second is the expectation of hybrid work from a user's perspective. What do they care? What do they want to have, within a workspace? And what kind of experience, they would like to enjoy? And third thing is I'll roughly went through, the deployment landscape in the past few years. What type of rooms that users are explore? And then what type of solutions, they've deployed? What's the expectations, in each type of meeting space, right? So in the fourth part will be the IT operations, how IT operation requirements shifts, based on the changes of requirement in different type of meeting space. And last one will be the upcoming trend, device life cycle stuff. So let me crack on.
Yeah, that sounds great. If you can crack on with the first part of that sounds good.
Yeah, so the first part is about platform landscapes, right? So let's divide into 2 parts. The first part is from a user's perspective, right? And currently, if we're looking at monthly active users for all the platforms like Teams, Zoom, and I put like Google, WhatsApp, into others. So you will see Microsoft Teams took around 35 to 40% of the market share in terms of monthly active users. And then Zoom is about another 30 as well. And the rest part will be others like 40%. Have you seen the same thing from your end?
I think so. I'm actually quite surprised by that. I would have thought Microsoft Teams was a lot higher. I would have thought Teams, it seems from my perception, and I don't know how these statistics are derived, but it seems from my perception that I would have thought Teams was about 80% in the UK market, at least. Were those stats global, or were those stats within the UK?
Those stats are within UK. It's not accurate, but it kind of reflects, on the actual market, right?
Yeah.
And what you tell about 80% Teams is exactly right, because what I just mentioned is about the monthly active users, right?
Right.
If we're looking at rooms, it will be 80% Teams and then 20% Zoom. So that's how the platform landscape looks like, right?
Yeah.
And if you are a user which fully embrace to video conferencing within your organizations, I think you definitely need to put a strategy which is Teams first.
Right.
And then in the meantime, you definitely obviously need to have that flexibility to be compatible with other platforms, right? Which is what exactly Microsoft is doing at the moment.
So what would be your reasoning behind a Teams first strategy? Because obviously they're not the only platform out there, but is it to a point now where they've got so much of the market that it just makes sense to use Teams, or is there anything specific about Teams that you think?
The first thing is about the market, right? And obviously you have, 80% of the users, business, they are using Microsoft Teams, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to have a smooth native conversations, then, there's no reason for you why not to looking at, Teams platforms as the Teams first strategy, right?
Yeah.
And then the second thing is, in the meantime, you definitely need to make sure that while you have native Teams device in place, you need to have that flexibility, to be compatible with other third-party platforms as well.
Yeah.
Which is why I just mentioned exactly what Microsoft is doing. They release like Zoom Gateway, Cisco Gateway, to make sure that you can have the same join experience, for a Zoom meeting and Cisco meeting via Microsoft Teams rooms. And then in the meantime, Yealink also developed an interesting feature, which is BYOD on top of Teams.
Yep.
And that BYOD experience is quite simple. It's just one Type-C cable from our panel, plug into your laptop, and then you can either share or you can switch to BYOD mode, or you can maintain your laptop batteries.
So you kind of get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, so it's like one cable that you can do three things.
Yep.
That obviously makes sense, because cable plugging to your laptop is the most kind of basic users, sense of how to use the technology, right?
Yep.
So that's the first thing, yeah.
So your new generation of bars, are all the bars USB? Do they all have that functionality with the USB-C?
Yes, that's
BYOD?
a very good question. The one cable functionalities is actually across the board.
Right. Okay.
No matter if it's Android bar or MTR on Windows or our Teams display type of products,
Yeah.
they all support one cable feature. Yeah.
Okay. So no matter what, you're going to get that BYOD functionality, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
You're getting it.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Okay, fantastic. All right. And from your point of view, from Yealink's point of view, I guess, they're heavily invested within Teams, and probably rightly so, I would have thought. Is the BYOD functionality there to be able to look after those others, as you say?
Yes. So those, BYOD functionalities is purely like making the whole meeting space work around your laptops, right?
Yeah.
So no matter which platform that you use on your laptop, and it doesn't matter, it doesn't really matter, but you can still enjoy the professional audiovisual experience that our solution provided. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. I know from a lot of the people we deal with that BYOD, and there's always sort of, the random people that come up with even WhatsApp and some of these other sort of like more proprietary platforms, where, especially in smaller companies, people will come in wanting to join. So it definitely gives that flexibility.
Yeah.
But we see a massive uptake in the Teams as a kind of as a holistic business approach for sure.
Yeah.
With the odd Zoom thrown in, but Zoom seemed to be less focused potentially maybe on video, more on phone now, I would have thought.
Yeah.
That's my take on it anyway.
Yeah. And that's about the platform landscape, right? And also really appreciate for your feedback. And I'm glad that you see the same thing. It makes me feel that I'm done the survey properly. So yeah. Good. And the second thing is about the hybrid work user expectations.
Yep.
So I think there's mainly three parts. The first part is about life and work balance. So how they can have a more, how they can have a better life work balance when they do when they are in hybrid working, right? And then the second thing is how we can make sure users are engaged.
Yeah,
that's really important, because if you are doing hybrid working, the most important thing is you need to be part of the business. You need to make sure you contribute to the business, right?
Yep.
And the third thing is more about how users can position themselves upfront, to have a hybrid working experience, because obviously that's not something new, right? It's been going on, in the past years, and actually there's people permanently, doing hybrid works, right?
Yeah.
So how we can help them, stick to their hybrid work experience. So mainly these three things.
Yeah, and I think we've seen a massive, since COVID, obviously the world has changed massively, and I see it all the time. So companies are really struggling with two things: struggling with the hybrid work strategy. Do they bring people back to work full time? Do they do a hybrid situation? And from a real estate point of view, that can make a lot of sense too. They can save a lot of money on real estate if they reduce their real estate footprint. But also from a human point of view, I think it's been a real challenge for people, because trying to make those people who are working from home, and maybe they can't work in the office, maybe now they've moved house and they're so remote that they have to be remote a lot of the time. It's not necessarily their fault, if you like, that they have to work remotely. Yeah. But how do you make them feel included as part of a team within a space? So I can 100% see, and it's nice to see that Yealink are really focusing on that as well, because it's a huge issue to make those remote workers feel part of that internal group.
Yeah.
And as a company and as a culture, it's really important to keep that, because the world has changed whether we like it or not. I think
that's what we're thinking as well. And so from our end, the conclusion based on the survey is the hybrid working will be a permanent trend.
Yep.
And we couldn't stop people embrace to the hybrid work, right? So the way how we can improve it is we need to make them more engaged while they work remotely.
Yep.
Right. So that's exactly related to the platform landscapes, right? So if you want to make sure that your employees are engaged while they work remotely, you need to have the right platform in place.
Yep.
So that is why I just mentioned Teams first strategy. That's quite important, because Teams is very well adopted, and the ecosystem that Microsoft brings is massive. Yep. So most of the companies, they will just naturally use Teams, based on what they have at currently, right? And the second thing is you need to make sure that the platform you choose has a very comprehensive device ecosystem behind it to support the better engagement or better meeting experience.
Yeah.
Right. So that is exactly that is exactly the vendors that we work with. We work both with Microsoft Teams and Zoom Room as well.
Yep.
So and obviously they are the most popular platform that users are invest with. Right?
Yeah.
So that's the second thing, and the third thing is which is very loudly shouted by Microsoft. It's about the equal meeting experience. And so based on our device across the board, no matter it's Android bar or it's Windows solution or it's meeting board, no matter the size of the meeting rooms, we all release a feature called IntelliFocus functions.
Right.
It's pretty similar like a gallery view. So you will have, the 4 latest speaker presented up front, and then you will have an overview on the bottom of the screen.
Yep.
So that type of setup will brings you a more close-up look for the people who is physically in the room.
Right.
So that the people from remotely will feel more engaged. And then in the meantime, not just the improved AI technology will make the meeting feel engaged. It's also the audio setup in the rooms, right? But most of the time, users don't have a proper setup meeting space, which you probably got you see 2 or 3, glass wall in the meeting rooms.
In a fish tank or something.
Yeah. That's obviously, really bad to the in-room acoustics, right? So what we do is we've developed a function called Yealink Acoustic Shield, and which we can block out all the environmental noise, first thing. And then second thing, we can also improve the echo, the acoustics, in-room acoustics, eliminated echoes, and strengthen the verbal reverberations. So that's what we do on the Yealink Acoustic Shield. So obviously, if you have a room which, It's kind of acoustic. There's no acoustic trap in it.
Yeah.
But with Yealink technology, you can still enjoy a proper sound experience.
Okay. Yeah. So it's like a sort of an inbuilt DSP, if you like, digital sound processor within the Yealink, or is it?
Quite similar. So it's a processor inbuilt to run the Yealink acoustic shield technology.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
So that's two things, right? So you improve the audio visual better, so the people from remotely can better see and heard the people who's in the meeting space, so that they can contribute to what they have, right?
It's really important. I don't think people really notice the intricacy, especially of sound and the fatigue you can get if you're in a meeting with really poor sound. You can get very fatigued very quickly within a meeting.
Yeah,
and like I was saying before, if the users on the far end don't feel engaged with what's happening in the room and don't feel like they're in the room, then they can very quickly be isolated, felt maybe not forgotten, but feel like they're forgotten within a meeting. I know I've been on hundreds and hundreds of meetings where I'm remote or I'm in the room, and when you are remote, you do kind of feel like you're just kind of, like a frog in the wind. I don't know if that's a saying, a frog in the wind. It's a frog in the wind.
Just like a glass wall in between.
Exactly. You feel like you're not even part of the meeting. Yeah. But when you have good meeting room technology, you definitely do feel like you're part of that meeting.
Yeah, that's right. That's what we see as well. So, and that's, how our solution designed and evolved. So, that's the second thing. Cool. And the third thing is about the investment on tech, meeting room tech. Right. So what we see in the past few years is the most deployed solutions are all huddle, small space. The reason behind that is also related to the market trend, right? In the first few years, it's all Windows-based meeting rooms.
Yeah.
It's all extra large room deployment, right? And suddenly the pandemic happened, and people are going to, as I mentioned, permanently hybrid work.
Yep.
So now they have to make sure that most of their meeting rooms enable with the meeting room technology. A is because you have part of the employees, they all work from home.
Yep.
And the previous investment into the meeting room facility may not enough to support the business running, right?
Yep.
And the second thing is people who works remotely, or even people who works in the office. Actually, in the office are more get used to a shorter, smaller scale meeting,
right,
and even an ad hoc call,
right.
So in this way, they might just grab a random space to have a call, and there's no meaning for them to grab a random large meeting space to have an ad hoc small scale meetings, right? So the investment into huddle and small room technology is quite important, based on the way how people works has been changed.
Yep.
So that is why we see a lot of changes,
That's my track. What were we talking about?
It's about small room deployment. Yeah.
I actually see the same thing. So when we get floor plans, I remember 10 years ago, you get a floor plan and you would have a massive boardroom.
Yep.
And they would spend £80,000 on that boardroom. Yep. It would be Crestron. It would be all singing, all dancing, potentially Cisco systems, telepresence maybe, and a huge amount of money spent. These days, we're not seeing a massive drop in the value of the projects because now every single room has got AV in it. So, but they're a lot less complicated. They're a lot less expensive because of the economies of scale. But what we do see is a massive drop in the really high end rooms, and a massive increase in the like you were saying, in the huddle rooms and spaces. I think 100% that's the way of the world. Every time we get a floor plan now, every single meeting space has AV in it, and that was never the case 10 years ago at all. It was 2 or 3 special rooms where they'd have the C-suite come in and they would do a secret squirrel call.
Yep.
But now it's every single space, and they're screaming out for spaces still. Every single space is booked. So, which probably goes on a little bit to like space management and stuff like that. But
yeah, that's right. That's quite right. That's what we see as well. And based on my feelings, moving forward, the solutions will be pretty on 2 sides.
Mm-hmm.
One part is very simple solution, and another part will be very complex solution. And the solution which in between will be less focused, from the end client side, because most of the solutions are small, medium,
Yep.
and huddle. And for this type of solution, you just need to have proper video experience, audio experience, and then it would just work, right? But there's definitely still like multi-purpose rooms and training space,
Divisible spaces.
Yeah, divisible spaces, or like for some of the companies, I even saw a company who has a news release room, which is pretty high end, quite high profile meeting space.
Yeah.
And for that type of spaces, definitely complex setup as we just go through. But another important thing is most of those type of meeting space are all required to have live streaming tech embedded at the same time. That's what we see, and especially those town hall space. So our solution also changed based on this type of requirement, which we just released. A high profile camera offers you like 20 times optical zoom. And then in the meantime support the NDI HS3 and also compatible with Dante videos.
And is that for enabling live streaming?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we can be compatible with live streaming text, and in the meantime, also we are fully ready to deploy all your AV over IP. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, amazing. And we've actually got some of that stuff set up here in our office. So we're lucky enough to have Yealink as a partner, and within our town hall space, we actually use your technology, so we know it very well. And I can speak from experience that it does work.
Yeah, and that's an amazing setup as well. I've been checking.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, you would say that.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And the fourth thing, we on to the fourth part?
Yeah, the fourth part is about IT operation shifts, right? And for this part, there's a very basic logic. And not sure if you agree with me, but I think that's exactly what's happening. So if you're looking back like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, the basic requirement for the meeting room is stay connected.
Yeah.
Right? As long as you stay connected, then everything is fine. So, the previous way on how to manage device is based on this type of requirement, right? If you're looking at, device management platform from the whole, industry, you'll find that in the past, the monitoring is all around whether if the device works fine, whether if it is online, offline, connect or unconnect, firmware updated or not updated.
Yeah.
This is all based on stay connected requirement, right? But in the past few years, due to the hybrid work, the experience now, the requirements now has been switched from stay connected to experience led.
Right.
So the meeting room requirement is not just stay connected, but you need to have a very good experience to make sure the people in the room or who join remotely can be very well engaged.
Yep.
And you will have a proper audiovisual experience in the space to make sure you can deliver high efficient discussion or meetings. Right. So the way on how to manage the device also needs to be changed.
So you're talking from an IT perspective of remotely managing devices across multiple estates kind of thing?
Yes, that's right.
Yep.
So that's kind of, IT operational stuff, right? After the kit being deployed. And so there's 3 keywords I want to mention. The first keyword is that management tool needs to be full stack, right? Including software, hardware management. Like, software configuration on the device or hardware management on the device. That's a basic. And then the second thing is you need to make sure a consistent management experience. And that means that no matter which site you go in, which type of device you managed, you will have the same way, same standard operational process, to manage all those devices, right? And the third thing is you need to have remote access features, and which means that, you don't need to actually send people on site to check whether if the issue is happened. You can manage the kit all via remotely. Only if there's any critical issues, you need to send people on site.
So what's the limitations on that? So I'm assuming all the Yealink devices, the new ones, have this functionality.
Yes.
So give me a real world example of that. So
So on our latest device management service, we can still, satisfy the requirement on stay connected, right? And that's a basic requirement. We can make sure that our device can monitoring all of our device, which, can make sure they stay connected.
And does that show you like there it's on or it's off?
Yeah. On, off, online, offline, firmware right or not, those basic requirements, right? But on top of it, we also release new features, like three new features, right? The three new features. The first new features is the remote access. So now the remote access previously can support MTR on Windows only,
right?
But now we can also support MTR on Android as well. So basically it covers all portfolios like our A series, our MEC range, which is MTR on Windows, our meeting board, which is based on Android. These can now all support the remote access features via our device management service.
And what are some of those features? So give me an example of a real world example of there's an issue and potentially, say we're servicing it, one of our technicians sees that there's an error pop up on one of your devices. Assuming we can get an alert on that. At the time,
you can get alert on that, and then what you can do is quite similar, just like a team view. You can access to the full MTR panel. And then once you access to the panel, you can do full control.
Even on Android?
Yeah, even on Android.
Okay.
So what we always say is, when there's a MTR panel in front of you, 90% of the issue can be sorted. So that is why we are very strive to develop the remote access features, and very keen to bring in both Windows or Android side.
So if they were to go in and they find out, well, it's not a setting, it's not something within the panel that's gone amiss, are they able to then reboot that unit remotely, or?
Yes, reboot, remote set to remote reset to factory mode.
Okay, so you can start the process again.
Yeah, and the third thing is about within the second thing, we also release a remote reimage feature.
Okay.
So previously, the most critical issue is if the PC is just not working, and then you have to reimage the whole.
It's just bricked.
Just the whole PC units, right? But obviously, what you can do is send an engineer on site with a USB drive, plug it in, waiting for 2 hours, and then compete. Right? But now what we can do is we can do remote reimage, and which we can drag the firmware online and then push down to the device.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So you can do that all remotely now?
Yeah, all remotely.
Interesting. Okay, great.
And then last thing is our device management platform also enabled with AI models. So now if you already refresh to our latest device management service, you will find an AI assistant flow ball always on with your remote management service. And with the AI assistants, you can obviously ask the AI assistant to generate a weekly report of what room works fine, what room is not working, and the reason behind that, and to help you to do to make decisions, on what you need to do in the next steps. And also, we release a feature called Auto Check. Obviously, we know if organizations runs big facilities, multiple, hundreds of meeting space, they all need to do a device check every week or in a 2 weeks, right?
Right.
Our platform release an auto check function, which you will automatically run through a task for all the meeting space to test whether if all the device is working fine.
So it does like a sweep.
Yeah.
It gives you, and how does that come back to you, like as a report, or?
Yeah, it will come back to you with a report on what room is not working, what room is working, what's working okay, what's working not okay.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's
so
great.
that's the update, on the management, which
is that chargeable as a separate item, or is that
we have two versions. So essential version, you can do all the stay connected management, right?
Yeah.
The pro version will help you to do all type of remote access, and the essential version is free up to 1,000 device.
Okay.
And then the pro version is per device per year subscription model.
Okay, which unlocks a few extra features.
Yes. Yeah. That's right.
Great.
So that also reflects to the current requirement, right? You can not only manage the device, to make sure they stay connected, but you can also manage the in-room experience.
Yeah.
So that's the fourth thing. And the last thing I want to mention is about device lifecycle.
Yes, we had a discussion about this before. It'll be very interesting.
Yeah, that's right. So we all know that Microsoft released the announcement for annual certification and support on any device which could not update to Windows 11.
Yep.
And that's for the Windows device, and any Android device which could not update to Android 10 and Android 12.
Yep.
And the end of support on Windows 10 will be October this year. And then the end of support on both Android 10 and Android 12 will be end of September 2026. So
and I think you said there's a huge amount of actual units out there.
Yeah,
that are on this version.
That's right. And then based on this type of requirement, what we see as a vendor is we try to make our device future-proof, right? So if you're looking at our Android or Windows series, most of our Windows device released after the year of 2022 will support to upgrade to Windows 11. So it means that if you buy the device like 3 years ago, you still can remain a device in full device life cycle.
Yeah.
Right? And then the second thing is all the Android device that's in the market currently, like the A20, A30, our previous Android series, and also the meeting board generation 1, and no matter the size, we can all upgrade to Android 13. So it doesn't really relate to the Yealink devices. And in the meantime, the new device we just released, for example, our MTR, our MTR on Windows range, we embed it with the most industrial leading PC unit. That PC unit embedded with Intel Ultra 5 core, and also support the vPro functionalities. And if you're looking at the whole industry, only Yealink and Lenovo has this type of PC released to the market.
So is that a restriction of the chipsets that have been used?
Yes.
Okay.
That does require a new chipset built into your device to support the update, and both from Windows and Android. And because the chipset we used in 3 years ago, it's future proof, so now it can still support upgrade to latest Windows version or latest Android version. But the device we just released will be more future proof. So just like our Android bars, all the new Android bar or Android device like the board we released this year will all run Android 13 by default.
Right.
And it's capable to upgrade to any further Android versions.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, we also work with Microsoft as the very first group of vendor to develop the Microsoft device ecosystem platform infrastructure.
Yeah.
So moving forward, all of our new Android device, like the Android phone, Android video bar, Android meeting board, will all be capable or certified by the Microsoft device ecosystem platform.
Okay, so this is a pretty big deal, really, isn't it? Yeah. So if we go back to what are the downsides? If you have some old equipment that's running Android 10, is it Android 10?
Yeah, Android
10.
Which could not be updated. Yeah.
So that Android 10 cannot, you're stuck on Android 10.
Yeah.
What happens if you don't upgrade it?
Based on my understanding, you'll miss out the Cyber Essential Plus certifications. That's the most critical thing. Yeah.
Okay, so you're not going to have the certified security rating potentially that some of these companies might need.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. All right, which is a pretty big
and
deal.
And then you will probably lose some support from Microsoft. I couldn't say it on behalf of course,
Microsoft. Yeah. But like anything, right? It's like any Windows platform, you're going to end up running out of support on these units. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's really interesting. So I've learned a lot. I really appreciate you coming in. So what's the one tip you think you'd give people in the future around AV meeting room design?
I think the only tips, I think the only tips I can think about is you need to stay updated.
Okay.
And you need to understand what the market is doing, and always, keep up to date with latest technologies. Even if you're not investing to it, you will understand how, the whole industry move, into which direction, so that you can contribute to the organization or company that you work with to make sure that they stick to the future directions. Yeah. Stay up to date. That's the most important.
Stay up to date. Stay informed.
Yeah, that's
future
also
planning.
As a brand, we also put this at the core of our brand, and we try to keep innovative. So you can see every year we bring some new products. We do some co-development with key vendors like Microsoft. Yeah,
great. Right. Thanks, Benjamin. Appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for hosting me.
No worries. Anytime. Cheers, mate.